Hey everyone, welcome back to Edgeverse. Imagine this. You're sitting there, watching this video, and right now feels like the present. But what if I told you that now doesn't actually exist the same way for everyone? That time itself might not even be fundamental to the universe. It could just be something that emerges, like temperature emerges from bouncing molecules. Mind-blowing, right? Today, we're diving deep into one of the biggest mysteries in science and philosophy. What exactly is time? Does it really exist? Or is it just an illusion our brains cooked up? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have a whole new perspective on the thing that rules every second of your life. And if you love big brain stuff like this, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. We've got way more coming. Let's jump in. First things first, how do we even define time? The simplest, most practical answer comes from physics. Time is what a clock measures. That's it. Whether it's the vibration of atoms in an atomic clock, the swing of a pendulum, or the Earth spinning around, any regular, repeatable change can be a clock. It's super useful because it lets us build technology, predict orbits, and sync our lives. But is that all time is? Just clock ticks? Obviously not. That feels way too shallow. Then modern physics steps in and says, time is one dimension of spacetime. Thanks to Einstein, we know space and time aren't separate. They're woven together into this four-dimensional fabric called spacetime. You and I can move freely back and forth in space, but time? We're stuck moving forward at a fixed speed, 1 second per second. And here's the wild part. Time isn't the same for everyone. If you're moving really fast or hanging out near a black hole, your clock ticks slower compared to mine. This is called time dilation, and it's not sci-fi. It's proven. But philosophy looks at time totally differently. It says time is the way we order events into past, present, and future. Think about it. Why does the present feel so special? Why do we feel like time is flowing, like the future is becoming the present and slipping into the past? That's where things get really interesting and really debated. There are two big camps in philosophy: the static theory of time, sometimes called the B theory, and the dynamic theory, the A theory. The static view says all moments in time exist equally. Past, present, future, they're all just different places in the block universe, like different locations in space. There's no real flow. The reason it feels like time is passing is just because your consciousness is moving through this timeless block, experiencing one slice at a time. This fits beautifully with Einstein's relativity, because in relativity, there's no universal now. What's simultaneous for you might not be for someone zooming past you near light speed. On the other side, the dynamic view says no, time really does flow. The present is objectively real and special. The past is fixed, the future is open, and time genuinely marches forward. This matches how we actually experience life, and it lines up with something called the thermodynamic arrow of time. You know the second law of thermodynamics? Entropy, disorder, always increases. You can scramble an egg, but you can't unscramble it. Coffee gets cold. It doesn't spontaneously heat up. That irreversibility gives time a clear direction, from low entropy to high entropy. And that arrow points from what we call the past to the future. So the dynamic view feels intuitive. Time has a direction, it flows, things change in one direction only. So which one is right? Here's the crazy thing. Both have strong arguments, and physics and philosophy haven't fully settled the fight. Now let's talk evidence. Does time even exist outside our heads? The answer is a resounding yes, at least at the scales we live in. First, change itself proves time is real. Things move, grow, decay. Without time, change is impossible. Causation needs time too. Causes have to come before effects. But the smoking gun? Time dilation experiments. Scientists have flown atomic clocks on airplanes, and the moving clocks literally tick slower, exactly as Einstein predicted. They've put clocks on mountains and in valleys, and the ones lower down tick slower. And here's something practical. GPS in your phone works only because engineers correct for both special and general relativistic time effects. Without those corrections, GPS would drift by miles every day. That's real-world proof that time behaves differently depending on speed and gravity. The thermodynamic arrow is another huge piece of evidence. The universe is getting more disordered over time, and that's not reversible in practice. That gives time an objective direction. Even quantum mechanics, which is weird in so many ways, still respects temporal order. Information can't travel backward in time faster than light. So yeah, time is real. It's measurable, it affects the world, and we've built technology that depends on it working exactly as relativity describes. But here's where it gets mind-bending again. Modern physics is starting to suggest that time might not be fundamental. At the tiniest scales, the Planck scale, where gravity and quantum effects collide, spacetime itself might break down. Theories like loop quantum gravity or string theory try to describe reality without treating time as a basic ingredient. Instead, time could emerge from deeper, timeless structures, kind of like how temperature emerges from the motion of particles. Temperature is real, you feel it every day, but it's not fundamental, it's emergent. Maybe time is the same. And what about that feeling of time flowing? Physics doesn't explain it. The equations treat past, present, and future the same. There's no arrow in the math pointing to the future. So many scientists and philosophers think the flow of time is an illusion created by our consciousness. Our brains stitch together sensory input into a story of now moving forward. Neuroscience backs this up. The subjective present lasts about 100 to 300 milliseconds while your brain processes everything. So is time real? Absolutely. As a dimension that orders events, enables change, and has measurable effects we rely on every day. But is time fundamental? Does it truly flow? Is the future already written in the block universe? Those questions are still wide open. To wrap this up, time is both more real and more mysterious than we usually think. It's the stage for everything that happens, proven by experiments and technology. Yet at the deepest level, it might just emerge from something timeless. And that feeling of moments slipping away, that might be our minds making sense of a static reality. What do you think? Do you lean toward the block universe where everything already exists? Or do you believe time genuinely flows and the future is open? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I read them all, and the best ones might get pinned. If this video blew your mind, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend who loves deep topics, and subscribe for more explorations of the biggest questions in science and philosophy. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one, whenever next actually is.